All right. Don't mind sharing this view with you because it's these elevated sides. You know, you hear me talking about elevated sides. Mountains, mesas, plateaus. That's where we get the storm development in the midday. So if you plan to hike this weekend or anytime next week, start early and finish early. That way you'll finish strong because the storms start to pop up over the mountains, and some of the hazards up there are lightning. Lightning is the #1 killer, weather-related killer in Colorado. July, the most active month for fatalities and injuries. June, we're about to get into June, the second most active month for fatalities and injuries. So again, get up early. Pre-dawn wake-up call. Sunrise at the trailhead, and sunrise is happening right around 5:45, 5:50 these mornings, so get up and go. And this is not big storm coverage. Let's just glance at the radar real quick, because again, there's not a lot going on for us on the western slope. Most of it's off in the eastern plains, but we do get these little speckles of storm cells that pop up with the heat of the day, the moisture that's being transported in, and we'll get another look at radar, a better, closer look at radar, because we do have moisture, we do have heat, and we do have the mountains, and that's two lifting mechanisms available to us, but it's not widespread. It's not the greatest. And any storms that do pop up will put down light rain in isolated spots, mostly gusty winds. We do get some cooling from that cloud coverage. Right now we're mid-70s, upper 70s between Montrose and Delta. Mid-80s at Grand Junction. High temperatures, I just heard the National Weather Service ding, so I know that these are official for the day. Mid-80s, Grand Junction and Delta. We should be lower 80s. Typically this time of the year. We're pushing towards late May. Montrose, we're usually upper 70s. So again, we're trending slightly warmer than the averages. We had 70s off towards our east in those mountain communities. Tomorrow afternoon, Saturday. Same scenario. Not as warm, but still warmer than the averages, just barely in a few spots. Tomorrow's actually the cooler day, the less warm day in the extended forecast. And we will continue with the breezy outlook. We will also continue with those bubbling mountain zone storms. Small little cells clipping around. Speaking of clipping around, right now we're 5 to 15 miles per hour in the Tri-County area, a little bit stronger wind speeds in Moab and Rifle, near 25 mile per hour gusts. Well, 25 mile per hour sustained winds. Top gusts of the day. These were achieved mostly during the midday. Now, the midday period for Grand Junction, when we hit our top gust, mid-30s, we also had a lot more of the wind during the middle of our day today. You woke up this morning with some breezy conditions in Grand Junction. Top gust between Delta and Montrose, 25 to 30 miles per hour. These are a little bit later in the afternoon hours. Now, I had full anticipation and expectations that it was Palisades' turn. Central Grand Valley, east end of the Grand Valley, it was our turn to get some of those showers moving overhead. Now that just hasn't happened. They haven't propagated and driven to the north. They have around the Montrose area. They have in Delta County. In fact, the county line between Mesa and Delta, up on the Grand Mesa, a little bit active with some light rain there. So just know it's these mountain zones that have the better opportunities. Those of us in the lower elevations, whether it's a mountain town or a valley location, we tend to get gustier winds out of it. Not a major interruption for your holiday weekend. Keep that in mind. Other things to keep in mind for the holiday weekend: river danger. The threat is still extremely high. Now the locals, no, we've been talking about this for weeks. If you're just visiting, area rivers are fast and swift and dangerous. It's cold and there is an undercurrent in addition to the flow. At the state line, Utah, Colorado, the Colorado River is raging right around 34,000 cubic feet per second. Last year, this time, we were only 6,000 cubic feet per second. So even if you're not in the river recreating with a professional rafting company or guide company, if you're along the banks can collapse. So just keep that in mind. Also keeping it in mind, a lot of barbecues, a lot of grills, a lot of fire pits, a lot of hot engines parked over dry grasses. Don't be a wildfire starter. Just have safety in mind this weekend. Look twice for pedestrians, look twice for motorcyclists. A lot of people out on the roads this weekend. And these late afternoon storms are not going to be a major interruption, I promise you, but we will keep them going each afternoon, along with these warmer than average temperatures. Late next week, we have a lot more active pattern. In fact, getting into early June, we're going to continue with these showers and thunderstorms popping up, very isolated. This is not a widespread coverage unless you find yourself in the eastern plains. Montrose, just like Grand Junction, Saturday and Sunday, near average temperatures. The rest of the forecast period, slightly warmer than.